Hey everybody, it's me, CJ King with Murney Associates, and I have been fielding a lot of inquiries lately from clients, both buyers and sellers, about Zestimates and what they are and what they aren't. And so I thought I would take a quick minute to give you the rundown on Zestimates and why they matter, or maybe why they don't matter here in our local 417 land. So first things first, what I'd like to do is tell you what Zillow says a Zestimate is. So I'm going to read to you for just a second. It says a Zestimate is Zillow's estimated market value for an individual home, and it is calculated for about 100 million homes nationwide. The Zestimate is automatically computed daily based on millions of public and user-submitted data points, taking into account special features, location, and market conditions. So that is the official Zestimate definition. Now, what does that actually mean? And why is it different here in our area? So things that are public and user-submitted data points. For example, when you finance your home, you have a deed of trust. That is what secures a note on the property and kind of obligates you to continue to pay your mortgage. That is a public accessible document that gets filed at the recorder's office, and it's available for public consumption. The county sends out little surveys or questionnaires after you purchase a home. They send it twice, and they ask you to divulge what the purchase price of your home was. If you do that, now that is public submitted data. You have submitted that voluntarily, which, by the way, you don't have to do because we're a non-disclosure state in Missouri. So if you recently bought a home and you got one of those, please don't fill it out. You might end up having to pay more taxes. Another public or user submitted data point would be in some areas the realtors submit the actual sales price of a home. They submit that to Zillow. We don't do that in our area and in our board. So the prices for sales are not actually published. The prices for listings, the list price of properties, is disclosed. That's available, and that's the advertising, and you see it on Zillow. You see what the list price is. So that is a publicly available piece of information. So what happens with Zillow and their estimates is they have voodoo technology that I can't really explain how it works, but it's where they have an algorithm, and basically they search through all of those databases, and they look at list prices, and they look at deeds of trust, and they look at voluntary information about purchase price, and they kind of mash that all up together and spit out his estimate. So it's really just a best guess, and it kind of makes sense why in our area in particular, given that we're a non-disclosure state, there's not a lot of data that's being submitted. Realtors are not telling Zillow what the actual purchase price was, so they can only base their estimate on where a property is listed. So if you've ever seen those properties that are overpriced and they stay on the market forever, they're pulling that information and using that to determine his estimate. On the flip side of that, those distressed properties or those foreclosures where they're run down and they sell them for $50 a square foot and your neighborhood is $100 a square foot, that data is going to pull you down in your valuation and your estimate, because it is an artificially low number, so to speak. So Zillow recognizes this, and by the way, I am not one of those realtors who hate Zillow. I like Zillow. Zillow's great, and it's easy to use, and it's good for general public consumption. So I am not down on Zillow at all. But I will tell you, Zillow themselves, they rate their Zestimate accuracy on a scale of 1 to 4 stars, and in Missouri, in our area, they've given themselves a 1 star. So, and that says tax assessor's value or unable to compute. So I guess I forgot to mention they could go into the tax assessor site and get your valuation there, but those are historically not exactly accurate and up to date. So all of that to say, even Zillow recognizes that the data that they are providing and the number that they are spitting out as their Zestimate is not very accurate here in our market. And so the big takeaway for you, whether you're a buyer or a seller, is just to remember that a Zestimate is simply an estimate. It's not an appraisal. It's not a market analysis. It's not a professional evaluation. Not to mention the fact that it's all done through the computer, and they've never come to your home. They don't know what's inside your house. They don't know what's around your neighborhood. They don't know local pieces of information that could negatively or positively affect your value, because it's all just through the computer. So there's so much that goes into properly pricing a home to be on the market. And from the buy side, things to consider as far as what makes a property worth more money to you. What are you willing to pay more for? Does it have a lake view? Does it, back to the woods? Does it have a big shop building? All these things that aren't necessarily available through the public usage points that Zillow is accessing to come up with their numbers. So bottom line is, always trust a professional. Contact a realtor, myself or any other realtor that you know and love, and get a proper market analysis before you go off, marketing your home or want to really hardcore stick to your Zestimate, because you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. And as a buyer, it may feel good if a Zestimate is here and the price is here and you think, oh, that's a great value. It maybe isn't. So bottom line, contact a realtor. Just remember, the only true market experts are the true market experts. So that's about all I've got. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about Zillow or Zestimates or the value of your home, just shoot me a text or comment and let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out however I can. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.